Now less than 1/20th, 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore. What can we expect weather-wise? I think good things. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now from the Weather Center, and real good things, right, Eric?
Yeah, that's right, Gary. We're talking about summer-like conditions, early September-like weather expected today as warm weather begins to move in. Taking a live look outside right now in downtown Utica, where we did see some rain overnight last night. Roads still a little damp because of that, but will gradually dry out as the morning progresses. Temperatures, as I mentioned yesterday, would not fall by much, and so far things have held up. Temperatures remaining in the 50s. In fact, a mild start to the day today. You won't need a jacket similar to yesterday with those near frosty temperatures. We're keeping a close eye on fog development. Now, it's not cooling down much, which will help, but there's still plenty of low-lying moisture in the atmosphere right now, so we'll see how that forms. Notice a patch heading through the Mohawk Valley down towards the capital region. For now, traffic cameras look to show no fog forming at this point, but as that boundary layer gradually sinks, that could reach the surface, so we'll keep you posted on that. The radar right now is entirely dry to our west. Things are also looking dry, so no rain showers approaching today. In fact, we're talking about partly sunny skies and high temperatures in the 70s. Yes, it's late October, near November 1st, and it's going to be in the mid-70s, and even warmer weather is expected tomorrow. We'll talk about that, plus what we can expect heading into the weekend and into Election Day straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks, and don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, there will be a
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning, everyone. This Wednesday starting out rather mild, temperatures in the 50s. What can you expect throughout the day today? Well, we got good news. No rainfall is expected, and in fact, we're back to summer-like conditions. First off, we're at 54 degrees up in Old Forge right now. Roads still a little damp from the overnight rain we saw last night. But as I mentioned previously, that dampness will gradually dry out as some sunshine is expected across the area throughout the day today. Still in the 50s in the Mohawk Valley and to the south in Cooperstown, sitting at 54 degrees as well. So relatively mild. In fact, the day starting out in the 50s, usually that's our average high for the day, to give you an idea of just how warm we're going to get for this afternoon. Traffic tracker, no incidents to report. Reminder, as Gary mentioned previously, there is milling operations and paving operations being done in Richfield Springs for the next few days until November 2nd or when the work gets done. And these streets right here, parking is not permitted. Just a heads up if you are in the Richfield Springs area. But again, today, temperatures starting out in the 50s, partly sunny skies, dry weather. Same thing for this afternoon. Why you want to not even bring that jacket for this afternoon with temperatures in the mid-70s. Gary?
Thank you. The battle rounds of The Voice.
Go. You need to know. Will they need a jacket? An umbrella? What should your kids wear to school tomorrow? Get the bus stop forecast only from Storm Tracker 2. Brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group. Don't let the weather spoil your day. Tune in for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, brought to you by Munson. Visit Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Visiting Munson and the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, both free and both Utica's very own. Remember, all roads lead to Munson. Parkway Drugs, free delivery 7 days a week. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Today is going to feel a lot like summer. If you're missing the warmer temperatures, don't worry. We're back to it for this afternoon. Downtown Utica right now it's looking dry. No fog has formed so far, but we'll keep a close eye on that development, especially out into the Mohawk Valley. Sitting at 53 in Utica, Rome sitting at 54. So we are pretty much around central New York, hovering in that temperature range, which is mild for this time of year. Radar is completely dry after rain showers rolled through last night. And how about these for temperatures? We are soaring into the mid-70s by this afternoon. with no rain chances expected. A fantastic day today. Now, the wind speeds are going to get a little more notable this afternoon. 5 to 10 miles per hour in the valley. Hilltops south of the valley could see wind speeds even higher. But I wanted to mention, too, that now that we have entered a very warm stretch, the average season snowfall totals are approaching half an inch for Utica so far. So just a heads up, snow season has started. On average, our first inch of snow has fallen in Utica by November 5th. So to give you an idea that we are starting to approach those days where it is possible for snow to accumulate. But of course, for now, we're not tracking any in the near term. It's still way too warm. Here's a look at those sunrise times over the next few days. Notice daylight saving time takes place before November 6th. Sunrise at 6:42. We're back to 7 a.m. sunrises by November 20th. But how about sunset times? That's the most notable difference. Sunset at 5:54 today. In 3 weeks, following daylight saving time at 4:32. The one thing I'm not a real fan of in wintertime, of course, is that earlier sunset. But luckily for me, I do have an earlier time of my day. Again, no changes to our trick-or-treat forecast. Tomorrow peaks in the mid to upper 70s, record-setting temperatures potentially, and then by the evening, 60s, mostly cloudy, remaining dry. That's the key here for those who are trick-or-treating. Our skycast today showing partly sunny skies, temperatures in the 70s. By tonight, lows falling down into the low 50s, similar to this morning, before we rebound back into the mid to upper 70s by tomorrow afternoon, peaking roughly 76, maybe 77 in the warm spots. But still, it's going to be a breezy one. Those of you that live just south of Utica in the hilltops, south of the Mohawk Valley, if you're out trick-or-treating, definitely grab your hats. It's going to be a bit windy. But your 7-day forecast following Thursday, November 1st, it's going to be in the 50s, upper 50s by Friday, windy conditions, a few showers from a cold front. And then as we head into the weekend, we remain in the 50s as well. Daylight saving time takes place on Sunday. And following that, our election day, Tuesday, so far, looking mainly dry, a few spotty showers. Gary?
Smashing records.
Smashing records the next few days, Gary. This is unprecedented.
We will definitely take that, Eric. Thanks. The time right now is 5:23. Still ahead on Sunrise.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore, and who doesn't like a little summer-like weather in late October? Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now with the fantastic details. Hey there, Eric.
Hey, Gary. Yes, we are talking about summer conditions today. Matter of fact, starting out the day today, it's rather mild. Taking a look at downtown Utica right now, we are sitting in the 50s at this point with conditions gradually drying up. Notice the roads here a little damp from some overnight rain, but notice here it's in the 50s from Binghamton all the way up to Saranac Lake. It's 62 in Watertown, Rochester, and Buffalo. So it's a pretty mild early start to a late October day. It's just hard to believe that November 1st is a few days away. Around the state, we are keeping a close eye on fog development. As of this point, no fog has reached the ground, at least based off of our surface cameras and sensors just yet, but we'll keep you posted on that. For now, the highest chance of that happening is through the Mohawk Valley down into near the capital region at this point. The radar right now is entirely dry and no rain showers approaching from the west today, which means that we're talking about partly sunny skies. Temperatures peaking in the mid-70s. It's going to be a fantastic, slightly breezy day today, but even a warmer day expected for Halloween, potentially record-setting warmth. So we'll talk about that. Plus, what can we expect heading into the weekend if that warmth continues straight ahead? Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. With 6 days until Election Day, Vice President Kamala
2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery in Delhi.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Wednesday morning, and yes, I made sure that the batteries in my remote are working this time. We're going to take a look at our photo of the day, which takes us to Barneveld this morning. This is a gorgeous shot of a foggy sunrise taken a few days ago. An amazing photo right here. We were planning on showcasing, for those of you wondering about the selection process for these photos, showcasing towns in our area, corners of central New York that haven't really gotten too much attention regarding these photos of the day. So we're selecting it based off of location primarily, and of course, obviously, a lot of these photos, so many of these photos are just so fantastic, it's really hard to pick which one. So it's not out of favoritism, it's just out of the fact that we're thanking you for the amount of photos that have been submitted. About a year or so ago when I first started this up, I didn't expect to have this many photos submitted every day, and I'm appreciative that a lot of you take the time out of your day to post a photo that could brighten someone's day. So again, a big thank you from me and from all of us here at the station for allowing us to present these photos every morning. Now, this morning, temperatures are pretty mild in the 40s and 50s across much of our local area. And by this afternoon, well, temperatures will climb very quickly. Just how fast? Well, we start out in the 50s to initially up into the 70s, but enjoy this summer-like day today. We got one more tomorrow, and then we're back to reality for November. Gary?
Eric, thank you. Dozens of teenagers from around the Mohawk Valley.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Today is starting out rather mild, temperatures in the 50s. Downtown Utica right now gradually drying up after some rain showers yesterday evening and overnight. As you can see here, some of the roads still a little bit damp. Maybe a few puddles in some low-lying spots, but that's really about it. Currently sitting at 54 degrees with cloudy skies at Griffiths and Rome. These clouds will gradually diminish as we head throughout the afternoon with partly sunny skies, breezy conditions, and dry air as well. The radar right now is entirely dry, and out to the west, no rainfall is expected to approach us, which means that we're talking about dry conditions and warm ones as well. Temperatures approaching the mid-70s this afternoon, running about 20 or so degrees above average for this time of year. And as we head throughout the day today, we'll forget that we are slowly approaching snow season. Matter of fact, we have officially entered snow season here in central New York. Already, the average snowfall for today is approaching near half an inch. On average, the first inch of snow falls by November 5th. So although it's going to feel like summer for the next few days, a reminder that we are gradually approaching the cooler season. Sunrise times the next few days. Notice right here, 7:33 the sunrise this morning. In 3 weeks following daylight saving time, we're back to 7 a.m., but we get an pre-7 a.m. sunrise, at least for a few weeks. The main thing, though, is that sunset. As we head throughout the next few weeks, 5:54 our sunset right now. In 3 weeks, 4:32. So quite the difference as we approach the middle of November. And so if you're trick-or-treating tomorrow, no changes to the forecast so far. 60s and mostly cloudy skies. Rain still looks to hold off until the late overnight hours. And in our Skycast today, temperatures peaking in the mid-70s, decent wind from the southeast, or southwest, I should say. And then by tonight, lows fall back down into the 50s. A mild start to your day tomorrow before we climb back into the 70s by tomorrow afternoon. Near record-setting temperatures. In fact, we could beat the record. And of course, as you can see here, rain arrives overnight into early Friday morning. So data has backed off on the earlier arrival and has trended more towards a later arrival, which is great news for trick-or-treaters. But a reminder, it's still going to be windy in hilltops south of the Mohawk Valley. Friday, it's going to be windy, a little cooler for the first day in November. The weekend shaping up cool as well. Temperatures in the 50s. We are back into the 60s by Tuesday of next week. We'll be right back.
4.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. And what can you expect weather-wise? I think some good things. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now from the Weather Center, and real good things, right, Eric?
Yes, we're talking about a return to summer for not only today, but the next couple of days. Matter of fact, today, taking a live look at downtown Utica right now, we are starting out in the 50s this morning. And although you can see here some of the roads a little damp, maybe some puddles here and there from those rain showers overnight, but it is dry. No rain showers detected across all of the area. Temperatures are still sitting in the 50s. Officially 53 in Rome, 52 in Hamilton, 53 up in Saranac Lake, and in the 60s as you head up closer to Watertown. Now, taking a look at the visibility sensors right now, it looks to me, I'm looking behind the scenes at this point, there's a low cloud layer near Amsterdam, where that's where that fog layer is being reported right here in between the Mohawk Valley and the Capital Region right here. It's not quite to the level of I-90 just yet, but a heads up that there is some low-lying clouds there. The radar is entirely dry early this morning. No showers approaching from the west today, and that means plenty of sunshine mixed in with a few wispy clouds and temperatures peaking in the mid-70s. So enjoy the summer-like weather today. We've got another day of that on tap for Halloween, but will that extend beyond into November? We'll have a look at that full forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks, and don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, there will be a Game 5.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everyone. The time now is 6:13, and we're getting you set to head of the door this morning on the Munson CommuteCast. And first off, if you're in the North Country early today, still some damp roads here and there, but a mild start. Temperatures initially in the 50s. Same thing in Utica. Temperature at 51 degrees, slightly cooler. And lastly, down in Cooperstown, sitting at 55 degrees with overall quiet conditions. So today, overall, after a rainy overnight, entering this dry stretch, which will linger until tomorrow night. So much needed rain arrives. Now we get to enjoy the summer-like conditions. Traffic tracker, no incidents to report of early this morning, but we zoom into Richfield Springs again. A reminder, as Gary mentioned a few minutes ago, that these streets right here will be, you cannot park on these streets as milling and paving will be going on until the 2nd or when work gets completed. But regardless, today temperatures will be starting out in the 50s with partly sunny skies. This afternoon, same story, partly sunny, highs in the 70s. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The battle rounds of The Voice last.
TV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
The Ford Sports Station, presented by your local Ford stores. For current offers, visit buyfordnow.com.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. A return to summer-like weather is expected today. In fact, I would say even late August, early September-like conditions, 70s, even some peaks of sunshine. Before we get to that, though, downtown Utica right now, roads still a little damp, but otherwise, a few clouds in the sky. In fact, mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures sitting at 53 degrees at Griffiths in Rome. And we will still see these clouds persist for the next few hours, but these clouds are thinning up. In fact, we will see a lot more opportunity for sunshine later on in the day today. Radar is completely dry at this point, and temperatures, the main story today, back to early September-like conditions, mid-70s, around 20 degrees above average for this time of year, and near record-setting potentially as we head into tomorrow. So we got quite the warm stretch for the next couple of days. Now, while we're on the topic of this warm stretch, it might be easy to forget that snow season has started. Now, no, there's no snow on the ground here in Utica, but on average, around ½ inch of snow has fallen already here in the city. And on average, the first inch of snow will be fallen on the ground by November 5th. Now, at this point, there's no weather pattern supporting any snowfall for the near term, but of course, as we approach the cooler season ahead, that gets us much more likely, but we're still running well above average for this month and especially for September regarding temperatures. Sunrise times today, 7:33. Daylight saving takes place before November 6th. We're down to 6:42 in the morning, pre 7 a.m. sunrise, but then we're back to 7 a.m. by November 20th. But the main thing, though, will be those sunset times. Quite the difference. Sunset at 5:54. Sunset November 30th, or November 20th, I should say, will be 4:32. So quite the difference regarding that earlier sunset as the nights will gradually get longer. Trick-or-treating, no changes to our forecast so far. Temperature still in the 60s, a bit windy, mostly cloudy skies. Rain holds off until late. But to our skycast today, temperatures in the 50s and 60s, climbing into the 70s by this afternoon with partly sunny skies. By tonight, lows fall back down into the 50s. A mild start to your Halloween, and by the afternoon, 70s, partly sunny, decent wind from the southwest. And as we head into tomorrow night, we'll remain in the 70s and 60s before that cold front rolls through. And so, your 7-day forecast, we're talking about warm stretch today and tomorrow, but then by November 1st, we're back to reality slightly. Upper 50s, rain showers to start the day, then 50s for the weekend, daylight saving time on Sunday, and the election being on Tuesday. So we're now under a week away for that. And of course, temperatures climbing back up into the 60s as well. Gary?
Trick or treat.
Trick-or-treating, and probably one of the best nights
Yeah.
for trick-or-treating.
Good
So-
for the kids.
So warm.
That's for sure. And be sure to like us on Facebook.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore, and if you're getting your kids ready this morning, not too bad of a morning for them to wait outside. Meteorologist Eric Gage over in the Weather Center with a look at that bus stop forecast, right?
Yes, that's right, Gary. It's a mild start this morning compared to yesterday, which was rather chilly, in my opinion, near winter jacket type weather. Today, though, a live look outside in downtown Utica, looking quiet. Roads gradually drying up after that evening and overnight rain yesterday. But the main thing, though, those temperatures looking rather mild. Now, we are under a few locations seeing mostly cloudy skies. Some breaks in that cloud cover is moving through. The clouds are patchy and not overcast at this point. But I also want to mention visibility. We're keeping a close eye on traffic cameras and other fog sensors across the region. And heading down the Mohawk Valley to around Amsterdam, closer to Albany, near the capital region, there are some low-lying clouds. They haven't quite reached the elevation of I-90 just yet, but those clouds are very low to the ground. But that's really the only patchy fog we've been detecting so far on some of the cameras. Of course, we'll let you know if any of our sky watchers or any other reports come in as well. The radar right now is entirely dry, and no rain showers arriving from the west today, which means that we're talking about mostly sunny, if not partly sunny skies. Temperatures in the 70s this afternoon, with surprisingly even warmer days ahead. We'll talk about what we can expect for tomorrow, plus when that cool down arrives coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. With now just 6 days until
Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise, everyone, as we take a look at our Wednesday's photo of the day today. This one takes us up to Barneveld with a fantastic shot of the sunrise, which was taken a few days ago with some fog moving into parts of the region. Matter of fact, here it is right here. A great shot out in the eastern sky. And I want to clarify for those of you wondering about the selection process and how we are going to go about selecting photos in the future. Again, sometimes it depends on the topic, especially the fall foliage recently, but for now we're going to try to go around parts of central New York, corners that haven't quite gotten the attention of the photos of the day, and we'll be sure to try to share those as well. And a good problem to have is the fact that we have so many submissions, and it's so difficult to pick just one. And so, although it's difficult for me to say, hey, here's a photo of the day, and the rest of the photos you think aren't good enough. No, they are all good enough. They're all fantastic photos, and just a big appreciation for me for all of you submitting your photos right here on sunrise. A great way to wake up in the morning to potentially brighten someone's day. Now, this morning, back to the weather. Temperatures are in the 50s and 40s with quiet conditions as well. Maybe some locations of fog starting to move into the Mohawk Valley. We'll, of course, talk about how warm we get today and how long that warm stretch lasts heading through Halloween straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Dozens of teenagers from across the
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. It's starting out rather mild today. Temperatures in the 50s already, and we're expected to climb into the 70s by this afternoon, believe it or not. Downtown Utica view right now. Notice we have a few locations of low-lying clouds, but other spots, as you can see here, just some mid-level wispy clouds and some clear skies out in the distance. They'll set the stage for a pleasant day today by October standards. It's 53, partly cloudy right now at Griffiths and Rome, and the radar right now is entirely dry. We're expecting dry conditions throughout the day today and warm conditions as well. High temperatures in the mid-70s, running about 20 degrees above average for this time of year. Now, while we're talking about warm weather, I want to do a quick recap of the fact that the snowfall season has officially started for Utica. What do I mean by that? Well, on average, at least half an inch of snow, at least just under half an inch of snow, has already fallen on the ground here based off of our previous records. And on average, our first inch of snow will fall by November 5th. So officially we are in that season now, but at least near term, we aren't tracking anything that could support the development of snow showers for the next week or so. So I think that the average for that will still be a little bit delayed here this year. Our sunrise times for the next few days: 7:33 this morning. Daylight saving takes place. We're back to 6:42 on the 6th. And then by November 20th, sunrise back to 7 a.m. Now, sunset times will be a larger difference right here. We've got the sunset at 5:54 today, right around 4:30 by November 20th. It should be a 2, by the way. And beyond that, of course, sunset's getting earlier and earlier. Now, if you are trick-or-treating tomorrow, no real changes to our forecast. I think we actually might get a little warmer than 62 degrees, but the main thing is it's going to be mostly cloudy, and it's going to be dry, and it's going to be a windy one. Skycast right now showing clouds departing, partly sunny skies today, highs in the 70s. Same thing as we head into tomorrow. A mild start to the day, temperatures climbing into the 70s by the afternoon. A decent southeasterly wind, producing stronger wind gusts just south of the Mohawk Valley. And so following Halloween, it's high of 77, record-setting temperature possible. We're back into the 50s by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the first days of November. We'll be right back.
Central New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Wednesday morning, Central New York. We're starting out the day today on the mild side, and warmer temperatures approach by the afternoon. In fact, well above average temperatures are expected. Before we get to that, let's take a look at the radar and satellite right now. We are seeing that warm front exiting to the east. Notice those showers falling apart just off the coast of Massachusetts. And in the wake of that warm front, of course, will bring warmer weather. We have a few passing clouds in our area today, but other than that, we've got still some opportunity for plenty of sunshine. Now, let's talk about those conditions today. Temperatures will peak up into the mid-70s this afternoon, 20 degrees above average compared to the usual temperatures this time of year. Now, rainfall is non-existent today, and cloud cover today as well. A mixed bag. Now, although some of these numbers here indicate it might be overcast, well, these clouds will be generally wispy and thinner in nature. So partly sunny skies are expected for this afternoon. Now, while we're talking about warmer weather, I want to give you guys a heads up that the snowfall season has officially started. Now, on average, usually right around this date, around a half an inch of snow has already fallen on the ground for the season total. And by the November 5th, our first inch of snow has fallen on average. So to give you perspective of the seasons that are changing, but for now, though, at least for the next 7 days, we've got no snowfall chances for the near forecast. But regarding the changes that will be taking place, sunrise and sunset times. Now, sunrise today at 7:33 this morning. In 1 week, because of daylight saving time, we're back to 6:42, back to 7 a.m. by the 20th in 3 weeks. But those sunset times will be the large difference. 5:54 that sunset today. Take a look at this. 3 weeks from now, 4:32. The earlier sunsets are gradually approaching as we approach the next few weeks. But back to that forecast regarding what's it going to be like for trick-or-treating this Thursday. Well, temperatures will be in the 60s, mostly cloudy. I think actually skies will clear out a little bit as we head throughout the day. But the main thing is it's going to be dry and it's going to be windy. Those are the most impactful things for those of you planning doing some trick-or-treating. And so in our Skycast, temperatures will be climbing into the 70s this afternoon. Tonight, lows fall down into the 60s, eventually 50s, under partly clear to mostly clear skies. Then by tomorrow, you can see here clouds to start, at least in some spots, followed by partly sunny skies and temperatures near or breaking record-setting temperatures across the region. Now, following that, here comes those rain showers heading into the overnight hours into Friday morning. And so your 7-day forecast, Thursday, high of 77. If you're trick-or-treating, temperatures in the 60s. It's going to be windy, but it's going to be dry. Following that, we'll see windy conditions for your Friday, high of 59 degrees. The weekend, 50s. Daylight saving time happens Sunday. Turn those clocks back an hour. And of course, following that, we'll be approaching the first weekdays of November.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Wednesday morning, Central New York. We're starting out the day today on the mild side, and warmer temperatures approach by the afternoon. In fact, well above average temperatures are expected. Before we get to that, let's take a look at the radar and satellite right now. We are seeing that warm front exiting to the east. Notice those showers falling apart just off the coast of Massachusetts. And in the wake of that warm front, of course, will bring warmer weather. We have a few passing clouds in our area today, but other than that, we've got still some opportunity for plenty of sunshine. Now, let's talk about those conditions today. Temperatures will peak up into the mid-70s this afternoon, 20 degrees above average compared to the usual temperatures this time of year. Now, rainfall is non-existent today, and cloud cover today as well. A mixed bag. Now, although some of these numbers here indicate it might be overcast, well, these clouds will be generally wispy and thinner in nature. So partly sunny skies are expected for this afternoon. Now, while we're talking about warmer weather, I want to give you guys a heads up that the snowfall season has officially started. Now, on average, usually right around this date, around a ½ inch of snow has already fallen on the ground for the season total. And by the November 5th, our first inch of snow has fallen on average. So to give you perspective of the seasons that are changing, but for now, though, at least for the next 7 days, we've got no snowfall chances for the near forecast. But regarding the changes that will be taking place, sunrise and sunset times. Now, sunrise today at 7:33 this morning. In 1 week, because of daylight saving time, we're back to 6:42, back to 7 a.m. by the 20th in 3 weeks. But those sunset times will be the large difference. 5:54 that sunset today. Take a look at this. 3 weeks from now, 4:32. The earlier sunsets are gradually approaching as we approach the next few weeks. But back to that forecast regarding what's it going to be like for trick-or-treating this Thursday. Well, temperatures will be in the 60s, mostly cloudy. I think actually skies will clear out a little bit as we head throughout the day. But the main thing is it's going to be dry and it's going to be windy. Those are the most impactful things for those of you planning doing some trick-or-treating. And so in our Skycast, temperatures will be climbing into the 70s this afternoon. Tonight, lows fall down into the 60s, eventually 50s, under partly clear to mostly clear skies. Then by tomorrow, you can see here clouds to start, at least in some spots, followed by partly sunny skies and temperatures near or breaking record-setting temperatures across the region. Now, following that, here comes those rain showers heading into the overnight hours into Friday morning. And so your 7-day forecast, Thursday, high of 77. If you're trick-or-treating, temperatures in the 60s. It's going to be windy, but it's going to be dry. Following that, we'll see windy conditions for your Friday, high of 59 degrees. The weekend, 50s. Daylight saving time happens Sunday. Turn those clocks back an hour. And of course, following that, we'll be approaching the first weekdays of November.
This is Jerry Field.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Wednesday morning, Central New York. We're starting out the day today on the mild side, and warmer temperatures approach by the afternoon. In fact, well above average temperatures are expected. Before we get to that, let's take a look at the radar and satellite right now. We are seeing that warm front exiting to the east. Notice those showers falling apart just off the coast of Massachusetts. And in the wake of that warm front, of course, will bring warmer weather. We have a few passing clouds in our area today, but other than that, we've got still some opportunity for plenty of sunshine. Now, let's talk about those conditions today. Temperatures will peak up into the mid-70s this afternoon, 20 degrees above average compared to the usual temperatures this time of year. Now, rainfall is non-existent today, and cloud cover today as well. A mixed bag. Now, although some of these numbers here indicate it might be overcast, well, these clouds will be generally wispy and thinner in nature. So partly sunny skies are expected for this afternoon. Now, while we're talking about warmer weather, I want to give you guys a heads up that the snowfall season has officially started. Now, on average, usually right around this date, around a half an inch of snow has already fallen on the ground for the season total. And by the November 5th, our first inch of snow has fallen on average. So to give you perspective of the seasons that are changing, but for now, though, at least for the next 7 days, we've got no snowfall chances for the near forecast. But regarding the changes that will be taking place, sunrise and sunset times. Now, sunrise today at 7:33 this morning. In 1 week, because of daylight saving time, we're back to 6:42, back to 7 a.m. by the 20th in 3 weeks. But those sunset times will be the large difference. 5:54 that sunset today. Take a look at this. 3 weeks from now, 4:32. The earlier sunsets are gradually approaching as we approach the next few weeks. But back to that forecast regarding what's it going to be like for trick-or-treating this Thursday. Well, temperatures will be in the 60s, mostly cloudy. I think actually skies will clear out a little bit as we head throughout the day. But the main thing is it's going to be dry and it's going to be windy. Those are the most impactful things for those of you planning doing some trick-or-treating. And so on our Skycast, temperatures will be climbing into the 70s this afternoon. Tonight, lows fall down into the 60s, eventually 50s, under partly clear to mostly clear skies. Then by tomorrow, you can see here clouds to start, at least in some spots, followed by partly sunny skies and temperatures near or breaking record-setting temperatures across the region. Now, following that, here comes those rain showers heading into the overnight hours into Friday morning. And so your 7-day forecast, Thursday, high of 77. If you're trick-or-treating, temperatures in the 60s. It's going to be windy, but it's going to be dry. Following that, we'll see windy conditions for your Friday, high of 59 degrees. The weekend, 50s. Daylight saving time happens Sunday. Turn those clocks back an hour. And of course, following that, we'll be approaching the first weekdays of November.
Severe flooding from
Joining us now with some good news as we're changing the tables there, right?
Yes, we've got fantastic news regarding the weather. It's summer-like out right now. Matter of fact, a look outside. In fact, right behind us, we've got blue skies. I mentioned some wispy clouds can move in today, and you can see some of those out in the distance. But overall, cloud cover not too bad. In fact, how about that temperature? Well, we're sitting at 68 degrees here in the Utica-Rome area. 76 in Syracuse right now. It is a balmy one out there, and locations here locally are likely to hit the mid-70s. Now, the record stands at 80 degrees, set back in the 1940s. I don't think we're likely to hit that, but we could break the record for tomorrow. Another thing to mention, too, along with that warm weather, there's some pretty significant wind speeds, especially out near Buffalo. 26-mile-per-hour sustained winds, not just wind gusts, and 10-mile-per-hour winds in those hilltops just south of the Mohawk Valley. Radar is entirely dry today, and today we're looking at conditions favoring warm weather. Temperatures mid-70s tonight, mild lows in the 60s down into the 50s overnight and early tomorrow morning. We are tracking it again, another warm day for your Halloween. And will this stretch last? We'll talk about that coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Continuing coverage now of the
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you didn't look at the date, you would probably assume it'd be August 30th or even September 30th. No, it's October 30th, and we're looking at sunny skies in downtown Utica at 70 degrees. And November is a few days away. We've got amazing weather currently taking place right now, officially 68 at Griffiths and Rome. There is still some decent winds out there, not as windy as western New York, but a heads up as we head throughout today and tomorrow, that south wind, especially for those of you just south of the Mohawk Valley along those hilltop areas, could see some pretty strong wind gusts across the board. The radar right now is entirely dry as we are looking at dry conditions lingering until tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, I should say. That's our next chance of seeing any notable rainfall. And those temperatures summer-like in the 70s today. And as you head throughout the evening, your evening commute, still in the 70s, maybe upper 60s, and then cooling down to the 60s and 50s overnight tonight. Now, a bit of an opposite trend here, but I want to mention this as we move ahead towards the winter months. We are officially in the snow season. At this point, this time of year, on average, we've already picked up nearly a half an inch of snowfall. And on average, by November 5th, our first inch of snow has already fallen. Now, well, I'm saying this because we're going to need some snow reports as we head into the winter season. If you want to become a sky watcher, submit your snowfall totals during winter events. Email that link right there, weather@wktv.com with your name. You don't have to go with the full name, and your location, your town, I should say. Elevation, maybe if you do have the information, and then let us know if you're willing to send information during the mornings, evenings, anytime there's an event. It's vital that we have that information coming out from all the different corners of our area. But back to the near-term forecast. Trick-or-treating tomorrow, 65 degrees, mostly cloudy. This will likely be one of the warmest trick-or-treating forecasts we've seen since the 1940s, 1950s, even 2003, the last time we saw temperatures this warm. On our Skycast today, sunshine mixed in with a few wispy clouds. Tonight, mild conditions. Halloween starts out in the 50s, climbing into the 70s. Potential record-breaking temperatures here in the Mohawk Valley. The record high, of course, was 74 degrees, set back in 2003. We're likely to beat that by maybe 1 to 3 degrees. And so your 7-day forecast following this warm spell to wrap up October, we're back to more November-like weather for the start of November. 50s and 60s, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Turn the clocks back an hour Sunday as well, and we still remain on average as we head into the middle of next week.
So you said we're not even close to a record today, though, right?
Yeah, record 80 degrees, so we're likely not going to touch that, but tomorrow, potentially.
Definitely will, looks like. Eric, thanks. Well, Florida Trump Eric Gage joining us now with approaching record temperatures today. It is beautiful out.
Yes, it feels summer-like, and it's hard to believe that we're in the end of October, nearing November. Snow season officially started, by the way, and as you can see here, no snow on the ground. It's been well above average for most of this fall so far, late summer including that, and still plenty of blue skies. It's a fantastic summer day out there right now. 68 degrees, sunny skies, comfortable humidity at this point. And the only other thing that you could be impacted with weather-wise today are the wind speeds, somewhat on the stronger side. So if you have a high-profile vehicle heading east or west, you could encounter some decent wind gusts blowing your vehicle around. But besides that, things are looking quiet. Temperatures are in the 70s at this point, and we'll continue to remain in the 70s throughout this evening, and then back into the 60s tonight, 50s overnight into early tomorrow morning, Before we're tracking yet again, even another warm day. We'll talk about your Halloween forecast and if that warm stretch continues onward in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. David DePape, the man who
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Temperatures have quickly climbed from a mild start in the 50s up into the 70s across the board. A live look outside right now. Blue skies, some thin, wispy cirrus clouds out in the distance, but that temperature, 73 degrees. It is late October. We are only a couple of days away from the start of November, and it still feels like late August, early September out. So we are still in this stretch of weather that Mother Nature can't quite make up her mind just yet. If she wants summer, fall, or winter. But regardless, it's a warm one out there. 68 in Rome, 70 in Hamilton, near 80 degrees out in Syracuse, and those temperatures will continue to climb. The record high, by the way, was 80 degrees set back in the 1940s. I don't think we'll hit that, but we could break the record tomorrow, which was 74 set back in 2003. The radar is entirely dry right now, and today temperatures will remain in the mid-70s, cooling down into the 60s and 50s overnight tonight. Now, while we're on the topic of warm weather, we can kind of move back and take a look at the bigger picture here and realize that we're in snow season right now. The average time of year for the first half-inch of snow for the Utica area is today. And November 5th is usually when we have a total of an inch of snow that has already fallen on the ground. Now, while we're entering this season, I know it's still a little early, but I also want to make sure we let all of you know that we have some openings for those of you who want to submit snowfall measurements. If you want to become a sky watcher, email the email right here, weather@wktv.com. Include your name, maybe just your first name if you want. You don't have to give away too much. Also, your town as well. Let us know your elevation if you do have it. And if you want to provide us information in the mornings, afternoon, evenings, give us a time frame so we know we can rely on you for information regarding snowfall totals throughout the winter. Very vital for determining record conditions. Now, regarding trick-or-treating, heading out tomorrow, temperatures very warm, 65 degrees. The evening temperature is warmer than what most of us will be experiencing during the daytime on average on Halloween based off of the past few years. But regardless, this warm stretch continues today. Mix of sunshine, a few wispy clouds. Tonight, lows fall down into the 50s. Tomorrow, we're back into the 70s again. Record-setting temperatures possible in the Mohawk Valley. That decent, strong southwesterly wind will still be around the area, especially in those hilltops south of the Mohawk Valley. And of course, I do want to put this out here. A reminder, though, that while you're trick-or-treating as well, that it might get breezy. Hold on to your hats or maybe even have your bags of candy firm in your hand. Don't want to blow any of that candy away. But temperatures will peak in the 70s tomorrow. We're down into the 50s by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A reminder to turn those clocks back an hour on Sunday, as we'll be starting to see an hour more of sleeping time, which I think I'll enjoy a lot. Gary?
I think you will too. And we are here with News Talk. Our guest this noon is Onetta.
At the forecast, a very unique day for late October, almost the end of October. And did we hit 75, 76?
78.
No. Is that a record?
Not for today. We actually missed it by 2 degrees, but we will break the record for tomorrow's high. And we're looking at similar temperatures. In fact, let's see what we're brewing up for your Halloween forecast. Lots more treats than tricks this year. 78 for the high, so about as warm as today. The kids heading out for trick-or-treating will have a really nice and very comfortable afternoon and evening. It's looking dry and partly sunny. Again, a nice evening this evening. Temperatures in the 70s, 76 degrees at Griffiths and Rome, but again, we did hit 78. Just a very warm day. Temperatures are about 20 to 25 degrees above average, and it's going to be a very warm Halloween here in central New York. It does turn windy and cooler on Friday as a cold front moves in. And looking ahead, it does get colder as we head into the weekend and beyond. Partly cloudy skies this evening, temperatures in the 60s. Again, tracking a very warm Halloween. A look at the forecast is coming up. Chris, back to you.
The old St. Mary's Church in Rome decimated by the July.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're getting ready for Halloween. The trick-or-treaters are going to have a nice and comfortable evening ahead for tomorrow. Take a look at this forecast. This is definitely not very central New York-like. Partly sunny, 72 degrees at 5 p.m., 68 at 7 p.m., and then 9 p.m. Temperatures still in the 60s. It'll be comfortable. You might even could skip the light jacket, which is almost unheard of for October, especially late October. Temperatures are much colder than this. A lot of times they're in the 40s. Sometimes we've seen snow. But this year is going to be very, very different. A record warm October 31st. Also, too, if you are heading out to do trick-or-treating tomorrow, keep in mind the sunset time is just before 6 o'clock. It starts getting dark. Twilight comes to an end about 6:15. And our daylight changes dramatically. In fact, it's this weekend that we change the clocks. And from Sunday going forward, our sunsets will be before 5 o'clock for the remainder of the year. 3 weeks from now, 4:32. The earliest sunset of the year is 4:25. So we continue to lose a lot of daylight in the evening time, again, ramping up here by Sunday. Downtown Utica, 75 degrees. It is a very warm and very comfortable day to be outdoors. A light breeze. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. I want to give a shout out to the 3rd grade class at E.R. Hughes Elementary School in New Hartford. I got a chance to visit them today, and they're pretty excited to talk about the weather, especially about hurricanes, tornadoes, and flooding. That seemed to be the most popular topics of the day, and surprisingly, a lot of them have already seen a green screen, so the magic of TV is, well, not as exciting to them. Westernville, 78 degrees. Dollarville, 73. Little Falls, 77. 68 degrees in Inlet. Sherburne, 74. Cooperstown, 73. Looking to the west, we've got this strong south wind bringing in very warm conditions. We'll hit 70 again tomorrow before a cold front arrives. Warm tonight, overnight lows in the low 50s. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies, temperatures in the upper 70s. It remains dry through tomorrow evening. So again, for the trick-or-treaters, breezy, warm conditions expected. The rain doesn't arrive until after midnight, and it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning that we're expecting some showers. Much cooler weather on Friday. The wind picks up. Temperatures will be in the 50s. Partly cloudy tonight, low 54. Beautiful day tomorrow, very warm, and partly sunny, a high of 78. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Windy Friday, temperatures in the low 60s. It looks nice over the weekend, but colder. Temperatures in the 50s Saturday and Sunday. Showers Monday. Election Day doesn't look too bad, Kristen. Temperatures in the mid-60s, which is also pretty warm for this time of the year, too.
Right, and you can vote tomorrow for early voting.
There you go.
So 78 degrees.
Don't let the weather
trick-or-treat.
stop you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there'll be candy or not. The New York Yankees finally threats to voting here, or trick-or-treating threats.
No, in fact, we've got the Halloween gang out, and they're really pumped up. We've got Dracula, Mummy, Frankenstein. It's just going to be a really nice Halloween. Great to get out and trick-or-treat. Kristen wanted me to join them and dance, but I'm like, you know what? We're trying to get people to watch television, not turn the TV off here. We are talking about temperatures in the 70s as we head into Halloween. It's going to be a really warm day, and it's going to be very comfortable. It's very unusual to have the warmth and the sunshine this late in fall. Usually we can get into the 70s, but the weather often changes and it gets cloudy and wet. But this year it's going to be nice throughout. We do get some cooler weather here as we head into Friday and beyond, with temperatures back into the 50s. The average high for this time of the year in the low 50s, so this is very much a treat this year. Heading out the door, if you're taking the dog out for a walk, we are tracking some very nice weather. Temperatures in the low 70s here this evening and into the upper 60s, so very comfortable evening to get out and walk. Lucky from New Hartford is tonight's featured dog. This is brought to you by Nye Automotive Group. I've got a look at some cooler weather heading into the weekend. A look at the forecast is coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Bill, thank you. It's the last day you can vote in the
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We've got very warm weather in store for the trick-or-treaters tomorrow. calling for a high of 78. That's expected to break the record high of 74. It's about as warm as today, but today's record high 80. They're different each day. That's what we call them, the daily high temperature records. But tomorrow's high 74, set back in 2003, will likely fall. This is 25 degrees above average, 26 to be exact. Live look in Cooperstown. Wow, what a day. It is a warm afternoon, not very October-like. Usually temperatures in the upper 70s are more common in late August than late October. But here we are, another warm day tomorrow before things change. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet across the region. The leaves continue to come down regardless of the warm weather. If you have to clean up the yard, pick your day. The weather looks great. I would recommend tomorrow just because it's going to be comfortable in the afternoon. Windy on Friday, but generally dry. Nice and cool on Saturday. Temperatures will be back into the upper 40s to low 50s. Some reminder, the clocks change. We fall back Sunday. We gain an hour, but we also lose daylight at the end of the day. The daylight shifts, so we gain it in the morning, but we lose it in the evening. And wow, we get into that season where it gets dark before 5 o'clock. Again, that's taking place Sunday. Sky watchers, a lot of people in good spirits today. Whitesboro 75, Boonville 68 degrees, Helen and Cassville 72, Jeff and Mohawk 72, Eric and Inlet 67, Westford with 69 degrees. On the radar and satellite image, we've got a massive dome of high pressure driving a strong south wind, bringing in the warmth. We look to the west, we can see some thunderstorms out in Iowa. That's a cold front that's going to move east. It loses a lot of energy along the way, so by the time it gets here, it produces a few showers, but it does produce some wind as we look ahead to Friday. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, overnight lows in the low 50s. Tomorrow, partly sunny, warm, nice weather for the trick-or-treaters, temperatures in the upper 70s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies. Rain doesn't move in until after midnight, so no issues for the trick-or-treaters even through tomorrow evening. Windy and much cooler on Friday with temperatures starting out in the upper 50s and cooling off throughout the day. Partly cloudy tonight, low 54. Tomorrow, partly sunny and very warm, 78 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Windy on Friday, 63. The weather over the weekend looks pretty nice. Sunshine Saturday, clouds Sunday, temperatures in the low 50s. Rain on Monday, 53. But then it warms up for Election Day, 65, mostly cloudy. Showers return on Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Day and one tomorrow, too. Here's your forecast with Bill.
Yeah, this warm weather is going to stick around right through Halloween. We're looking at the forecast for tomorrow. It is looking really nice. Temperatures will climb into the upper 70s. We're expecting temperatures to be very close to the record high. In fact, many spots could be close to 80 degrees in the afternoon. So incredibly warm weather ahead. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's pretty quiet across the region. We're still 72 degrees. We made it up to 78 today. And again, it's looking just as warm tomorrow. The weather remains mild here tonight. Again, likely breaking a record for Halloween. Windy and cooler as we head into Friday as well as the weekend, but the sunshine is going to be sticking around here for the most part over the next several days. This evening, partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 60s. Again, tracking a very warm and comfortable Halloween for the trick-or-treaters. Look at the forecasts coming up. Kristen, back to you.
2 local communities are getting federal and state money.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
A lot more treats than tricks this year for Halloween. Take a look at the forecast. Temperatures in the 70s tomorrow afternoon, which means trick-or-treating will be a breeze. Should be very comfortable. Partly sunny at 5 p.m., 72 degrees. Heading out in the evening, temperatures will be in the upper 60s by 7 p.m. and mid-60s by 9 p.m. Being in the 70s is weather that we typically get in late August and early September, so a very comfortable Halloween this year, and it's also expected to be the warmest one on record, breaking the record high set back in 2003. Keep in mind, if you are heading out this time of the year, the sunset is before 6 o'clock. This changes dramatically next week as the clocks change, 4:45 1 week from today. The sunset by November 20th, 3 weeks from today, approaches 4:30. 72 degrees in downtown Utica. Again, it turned out to be a lovely day. Temperatures made it into the upper 70s. It's been a dry afternoon. It remains dry on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. I wanted to give a shout out to the young ones, the 3rd grade class at E.R. Hughes Elementary School in New Hartford. I got a chance to visit their entire class today, and we had a good chat about the weather, particularly things that interest them: hurricanes, tornadoes, and flooding. Especially hurricanes. It seems to be a very popular thing. Of course, it's been a very recent topic in the news with Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. And again, I wanted to give them a shout out this evening. Skywatchers checking in the 70s. Whitesboro 75 degrees. Bill in Boonville with 78. Helen and Cassville 72. Jeff in Mohawk 72 degrees. Eric in Inlet 67. And Jason in Newport with 68 degrees. Westford 69. Worcester checking in with 73. So looking at the big picture, we've got a gigantic dome of high pressure that's driving a strong south wind. That's bringing record highs to our area tomorrow. Thunderstorms to the west will move east, but they do weaken. So by the time they get here, it produces rain. But the biggest impact here is going to be wind, and that's going to be for Friday. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows drop down into the low 50s. Tomorrow, a very warm day. Temperatures in the upper 70s, partly sunny skies. The weather remains dry for the trick-or-treaters. It's not until after midnight that rain arrives, and those showers will be coming to an end early Friday. It's windy Friday afternoon and much cooler, with temperatures generally in the 50s. Partly cloudy tonight, low 54. Tomorrow, we're looking at partly sunny skies, very warm weather, a high of 78. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Windy on Friday, cooling down. We're into the 50s over the weekend. Saturday, sunny, 50 degrees. Sunshine on Sunday gives way to clouds, 53. Rain Monday, election day looks warm. Rain returns on Wednesday. We'll be right back.
The eve of Halloween.
Yes, it is.
And is it going to be a trick or a treat?
Lots of treats this year.
Heat.
Yeah, trick or treat. That's what we're calling it.
Okay.
78 for the high tomorrow. How about that, Ben?
That's unbelievable.
That's more like late
Shorts
August.
and T-shirts.
You can get the shorts out. You can get the T-shirt.
Reopen your pools.
Slow down a little bit. Maybe not that much. We are talking about some record warmth. 74, the record high in 2003. Boy, Halloween has had some strange weather this year. It is definitely going to be a warm one, and one we'll remember. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It is quiet across the area. Temperatures, again, very warm tomorrow, but there is an end to this warm weather. It begins Friday. A cold front arrives, and that's going to knock the temperatures down into the 60s, and we'll stay in the 50s here heading into the weekend. Current temperature 57 degrees, clear skies. Tonight, overnight lows fall into the low to mid 50s, mostly cloudy. And a very warm Halloween, but it doesn't last. So look at the forecasts coming out. Ben, back to you.
Bill, thank you very much. The last time it was
WKTV Plus, your new choice for news and weather, plus a whole lot more. Watch WKTV Plus over the air on WKTV 2.3 and on Spectrum Channel 1246.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica, a temperature of 67 degrees. It is a warm night, and it is going to be a warm day tomorrow. Heading out for Halloween, doing some trick-or-treating with the kids. Again, a very warm Halloween is expected this year. Partly sunny at 5 p.m., temperature of 72, 68 by 7 p.m., 66 by 9 p.m. Again, temperatures that are more reminiscent of summertime than of the tail end of fall here. And again, we're expecting to break the record high for tomorrow. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet across the region. We are tracking some great weather for fall cleanup. I know that there are a lot of leaves have come off the trees over the past several days. If you have to clean the yard tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, look to be good days to do that. If you like the warmer weather, tomorrow is going to be your best bet. If you like the colder weather, Saturday is the better of the 3 days. Friday, we have a lot of wind. Dolgeville, 55 degrees. Little Falls, 56. Still in the 60s in a lot of places, like Westernville, 60 degrees. Westmoreland, 63, 62 in Sherburne, and 63 in Oneonta. A large area of high pressure bringing in a strong south wind. We get another warm day tomorrow as we're in this southwesterly flow. And then this area of activities, showers and thunderstorms along a cold front, that's going to be our weather as we head into tomorrow. This front is going to weaken tremendously as it gets here. So by the time it arrives locally, it produces some light rain, and it's more of a wind maker. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, overnight lows near 50. Tomorrow, partly sunny, nice warm afternoon. Temperatures climb into the mid to upper 70s. It's dry tomorrow evening for the trick-or-treaters. It's not until after midnight, thinking more like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, that showers return. Breezy conditions on Friday and generally cloudy with high temperatures in the 50s. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 54. Tomorrow, a very warm afternoon, partly sunny, 78. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. An early high of Friday of 63, most of the day spent in the 50s. It is much cooler on Saturday, 50 degrees for the high. We change the clocks as we head into the weekend. We fall back Sunday. We gain an hour of sleep, hopefully of sleep. But that does change our sunset time to before 5, sunrise time an hour earlier. Showers on Monday. Election day looks pretty nice.
Do we have to? Do we have to change the clock?
We have to vote.
Well, no, I know we have to vote. I'm not saying that.
Yes, we do have to change the clocks.
Thank you.
Do both.
Yes. Thank you. Coming up next, a first look at your forecast tonight at 11. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis, and an absolutely beautiful Halloween.
Yes.
The last time that record high was set, I was Sully from Monsters Inc.
Nice.
Now ask me what I had for breakfast this morning, Bill. I don't remember.
But you remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah, we're talking about the trick or heat forecast.
I like it.
78 degrees for the high. This will break the record. The record 74 set back in 2003. Very warm and comfortable day, too. A lot of times when we get these warm spells this late in the fall, there's usually clouds, wind, and oftentimes rain accompanying some of that warmer weather. But tomorrow looks like a really nice day. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are quiet. The warmest day of the next 7, probably the last time, will be in the 70s here. But you never know. 78 degrees for the high tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the 60s on Friday, and then we're back into the 50s as we head towards the weekend. Current temperature 53 degrees. Tonight, temperatures will stay in the low 50s. Clouds will thicken up across the region. We're tracking, again, a very mild Halloween, along with our next chance of rain. Look at the forecast coming up. Ben, back to you.
Bill, thank you very much. New tonight, resident.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. Temperature of 66 degrees. It is much warmer in the city tonight compared to Griffiths and Rome. Looking at the Halloween forecast, it is going to be warm throughout tomorrow and into tomorrow night. Partly sunny skies at 5 p.m., 72 degrees for the trick-or-treaters heading out. At 7 p.m., 68. And by 9 p.m., it's still pretty warm. Temperatures in the mid-60s. Feeling like a summer evening at the very end of October. How about that? About 2 months ahead of our time here, maybe backwards, I should say. Feeling more like late August than late October. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, looking quiet. If you have to clean up the yard, tomorrow's a good day to do that. Friday and Saturday are okay too, but Friday looks to be the windiest day of the stretch. The leaves continue to come down. We've had a lot of leaves fall over the past week across the Mohawk Valley. Temperatures this evening are very warm. West Berlin 66 degrees, Westernville 59, Dolgeville 56 degrees. 59 in Cooperstown, 61 in Norwich, and Oneonta with 61. Big dome of high pressure is bringing a very strong southwesterly wind, and that's going to give us another warm day tomorrow. And then we deal with this. This is a strong cold front. It's producing severe weather to the west. By the time it heads east, it runs into less favorable conditions. So for us, by the time the cold front arrives, it brings rain and some wind. I don't think we're going to be dealing with any severe weather. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. Partly cloudy skies, overnight lows in the low 50s. Tomorrow, a very warm day. Temperatures climbing to the mid to upper 70s, that southwest wind kicking in. Tomorrow night, the weather looks dry for trick-or-treaters. The cold front arrives after midnight, again producing rain, and the winds pick up as we head into Friday. Early high temperatures in the low 60s will cool off throughout the afternoon, and it's a generally cloudy and windy day. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low temperature of 54. Tomorrow, a record warm afternoon, high temperature of 78. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Windy Friday, mostly cloudy, 63. Sun comes back out on Saturday, 50 degrees for the high. Looking at mostly cloudy skies Sunday. Don't forget the clocks change over the weekend. We fall back 1 hour very early Sunday morning. Rain Monday. Election day looks warm with temperatures in the mid 60s. We'll be right back.